Hey everyone, Cigar Diva here, and today I have the distinct honor of being here with Tim Person, Key Account Director and Premium Cigar Expert of Altadis USA.
Camille, I'm very honored to be here. Yes, I work for Altadis USA. We're the makers of H. Upmann, Monte Cristo, Romeo and Julieta, Trinidad, a lot of other brands. I've been with the company, it'll be 27 years this March. And I'm great here to be with you at our home lounge in Belvedere.
Thank you. It is
alongside
wonderful
New Jersey.
to be here.
It is. I mean, alongside my hometown. So I'm really excited to be, we're doing this great shot for Belvedere. So it's really cool. So we're going to be doing the H. Upmann 175th today, which was a great product. This was the number 10 cigar of the year in 2019, which is also put together by Rafael Nadal of our company, who does a lot of our blends and marketing, along with AJ Fernandez, who needs no introduction.
No.
And also they had the number 1 cigar of 2019, which was the Asia Rome Quattro of Nicaragua, which you can also get here at a fine location at Belvedere. This cigar being like an ultra premium, I think price point roughly around $20. I think when people try it, I know Christmas is over, but hey, treat yourself for New Year's. It's a great cigar to try. And they have them here at Belvedere along with a lot of other great H. Upmanns, Romeo and Julieta and Monte Cristo product. And just a great amount of cigars along with great people here.
I always say that's one thing that I love about Belvedere Cigar Lounge is that there's always something new in the humidor to try. Your favorites are always there, but there are always some new sticks to try, from your go-to every day to something special maybe to toast a nice occasion with, and this is no exception.
Very
Definitely.
true.
I love this.
I know. I think this is one of the first cigars that I gave you guys when you joined. And like I said, it was really a great honor. To be work with you guys, talk with you guys, and I consider you guys like part of the Belvedere family. Like everybody's treated here with Rafiq and his his staff. They really do a great job. I mean, we have a lot of outside events, indoor events. Of course, COVID is taking place, so it's a little bit different now. But yeah, I would definitely say, the selection is really good. You have a lot of people coming in and out, with foot traffic, even during the COVID, because the lounge is, a little smaller, with people with the COVID thing. But you can still visit the retail shop and take part in some of these great cigars.
I love this cigar so much, but definitely, if you are in the area, even if you're not in the area and you have not had the 175th yet, stop in. Even if the holiday is over, if you can't make it here by New Year, whatever the case may be, whenever you're watching this video, this is one of the cigars that is a must-have in your humidor. And granted, I've never had an H. Upmann that I didn't love, but there's something very special about this one. Tim, do you want to talk about that?
Sure.
Or should I?
No. Hey, you're the Cigar Diva. I mean, I'll help you out if you need any help. So go ahead, take it away.
It's fabulous. One of the things that I love about a cigar, especially, some people might look at a premium cigar price point of ballpark $20 and say, well, why? And I love it when there's a little bit of a mystery behind the cigar, just like there would be with a fine wine. Maybe there's some Brazilian Mata Fina tobacco, maybe there's some Omatepe. Well, in the H. Upmann 175th Anniversary Limited Edition is Media Tiempo tobacco. And if you've ever seen on plants how on some plants up at the top there's a little bunch of little bushy leaves,
yes.
Delicate bushy leaves.
Some people call it the corona, but it's the media temporal leaf, correct?
Exactly, and that is what's comprised of the wrapper, or the wrapper is comprised of, is this Media Tiempo tobacco that they can only harvest from about 1 out of every 12 plants.
Correct. What's interesting about that is what AJ did and Rafael did with this. They were working with this for a while. They took this wrapper, and to my knowledge, they put it in between, I believe, Connecticut broadleaf, and put it away, and unpack it, put it away, unpack it, they repack it a little bit. But the flavors that it produced by having it mature with other tobaccos of a lot of different flavors. So they had been working on this for a while, and this is what it came out with. And I know that it was, I work for a company, of course, we sell stuff, but the number one was the number one. But this, when you talk to a lot of people who've smoked all 25 last year, again, your rating system or how people do things is different, or how they may like it. But this is definitely was in the top 10 as how it was rated. So definitely I would tell people, definitely get down to Belvedere and give it a try. So it's amazing smoke. And what's cool about it is, it changes a little bit, but it's, it gets more complex as you go on. AJ makes a lot of cigars for a lot of different people, and he's made some great ones for us. But this to me is one of his crown jewels.
Yes.
Not just being in the business, or doing reviews with yourself, young lady like yourself and different people, but this has been reviewed by a great number of people, and the cigar to me it's like better every time that I smoke it. I mean, I don't get into all the coconut berries and different things and all that stuff, but we're pairing it with espresso. I've paired it with wine, I've paired it with bourbon, I've paired it with scotch. But today we're doing like a simple espresso experiment, which to me is really enhancing your palate, as the cigar is gone. So it's really good.
I agree. There are a lot of times I prefer not to pair with something that's too strong, something that might overpower the cigar or make my taste buds not really get the true flavor of the cigar itself. And I wanted to pair with espresso today so that I could get the true flavor of the 175th. And I'm so happy we decided to. It's perfect.
Yes. I mean, it's interesting. Before we came out with the 175th, we had this cigar called H. Upmann by AJ, which is a Nicaraguan portal, which means all Nicaraguan tobacco from one country. Sells very well. But I'll tell you another one that Belvedere has. It's called the H. Upmann AJ Limited Edition, but it's made from, it's called Lily La Finca, I believe I'm saying it right. 60 ring gauge, limited edition, only really limited edition. Belvedere is, one of the people that have it in the area, along with quite a few other of our H. Upmanns that we do have, along with Monte Cristo, Romeo, Trinidad. But this one is something that they did very special because this was grown on a farm that he had put the tobacco down in 2009. I'm sorry. 2009. So this is one of the farms that he did something really special with. And when you smoke this, like if you smoke these two, they're not even close. Mm-hmm. That's one thing about him, and one thing that we try to strive with H. Upmann. We have, Nicaraguan version, we have a Dominican version, the banker, the Herman's Bash, which is one of the brothers of H. Upmann. They have Connecticut, we have a Honduran version. So, we try to cover the globe, or not the globe, because of course,
the cigar.
Yeah, the cigar globe.
Part of the globe.
Part of the globe. There is an H. Upmann, of course, Cuban version that, not allowed in the United States. But the ones we do have, I think, will hold up against anything.
I don't think there's much against which this couldn't stand. This is such a fine cigar.
I agree with you. And what's interesting about, people always say, H. Upmann is an older person cigar, older man cigar, because, there's a lot of cigars out. Oh, yeah. But
I've never heard this.
One thing that we did, probably starting in 2013 maybe, we started working on with a lot of different things. We developed a group called the Group of the Maestros, and they work with people in Honduras, Dominican, they work with, rappers from Mexico, tobaccos from all over Brazil, different places. They work with a lot of different tobaccos. But they're based in our two factories. So we have a factory in Honduras, which is La Flor de Copan, Tabacalera de Garcia in the Dominican, and La Romana, which is one or 1A, the largest factory in the world. And then we also partner with AJ Fernandez. Another great guy we partner with is Nestor Plasencia, who we've smoked his cigars.
Yes.
But what the thing about when Raphael came on board with us, Raphael's had some really great cigars with his aging room things. Him and AJ, they kind of have like a really great palates and picking the tobaccos and doing things, you know. But again, they've worked with some of the people in the different countries where we do have factories, and everything is just enhanced. You know what I mean? And so I think this is, definitely one of the crown jewels that we've had in the last, 5 to 10 years for sure. So, I'm glad you're really enjoying it. But the cigar is definitely good. And I would definitely say come down to Belvedere and give it a try, man. I mean, it's like really fantastic here. People, great times, when the weather's breaking. We do a lot of cool things here.
It's very, very tasty. I know that you said that you didn't think it was very strong, but not very strong, but it's rich.
It's rich. I
It's
don't,
rich.
see, people have their own, like my rating system, I do 1 through 5. Some people do 1 through 10. And so my thing is like a medium to me is like a straight 2.5 to 3.
Okay.
Okay.
You were on the 5-point scale. I thought you were on the 10.
No,
Okay,
no.
okay.
I mean, if you think of a 10, that's fine. But I'd give you 9.5. But no, I just think that as far as the strength, I think this gets a little bit more heavier on the back end, but it's the same all the way through. But it's so complex that you can tell 1/3. Because being that this is a 50 by 7 Churchill, it's not a super big stick. It's a traditional size Churchill. And so as you're going through it, you start to pick up the different notes as far as what you may taste. I don't like to say, well, hey, this is what I taste and this is what you taste. I think that pairing it with the espresso definitely gives it an enhancing flavor. I don't, definitely you can tell the difference. Versus if you were drinking something like a clear spirit, it would be, the cigar may be a little overpowering,
I agree. Now, how do you think this compares, since this was made by AJ, or with AJ Fernandez, how do you think this compares to the other H. Upmanns?
Well, so I'll give an example. All right, so if you take the one that AJ made out, these are more of the Dominican ones. The Honduran one, which is the Añejo, which they do have here. This is a little bit more, would be in this wheelhouse, not as flavorful, but definitely a lot of flavor. This is the Añejo. The Connecticut, which is called the Grupo. It's probably is the creamiest. Maybe in the morning, afternoon, late afternoon. The Hispaniola is made with Andullo tobacco, which is like a press where they kind of it looks like a big banana stalk, like the way they press it, and then you got to peel it off. That's a cool thing to see done online, on our site to have it done. So this is made with an Andullo and Pilatico. Pilatico is a real rare tobacco that was used in Cuba until the gentleman Jose Menendez came over in 1962, and they used Pilatico up until the early 80s. Stopped using it because they had some issues with what they call blue molds and some other funguses that destroy tobacco. And then his grandson started growing it and doing a hybrid version of it. So the first time we used it was in the Monte Cristo 80th. People liked it. This is in about 2015. So this is either the second or third batch, I believe, that's in the H. Upmann Hispaniola, it's called. And very good. The Banker, to me, out of the Dominican cigars that we make, would be one of the heaviest of the Dominican stuff. And then you have the oldie but goodie is the Vintage Cameroon, which H. Upmann was Cameroon in the 80s. And going into the early 90s, they changed it to a different wrapper, which was it's called TBN, or it's from the Indonesian area, Sumatra area. And because it was a shortage of Cameroon, because of the wars and things in Central Africa, in that area. This is Cameroon is really it's a real brittle and easy, delicate type wrapper that you got to be careful with. But that has a lot of flavor to it too. I mean, all of them. It's a wide range, so you can go from like a 2.8, 2.75, up to this, which is like a maybe 4.4, 4.5.
On your 5-point
On
scale.
my 5 points.
Right.
On my 5 points.
Right on the curve.
Right on the curve. But again, everybody's taste is different. I mean, I smoke up down. Most people smoke down up. You know, so I smoke like when I was traveling doing different things, I would smoke like 4 or 5 cigars a day. But I always smoke heavy in the morning and then light at night. You know, and I might be out with some friends, you know, have a beer or something like that. You know, so when you smoke it, you know, I might change up a little bit, but I definitely usually try to go lighter at night. That's just me. You know.
I feel like the 175th could be on your 4-point or 5-point scale, granted. I think it could be an anytime cigar.
Sure,
To
no
be
doubt,
honest with
no
you,
doubt, no doubt.
I mean, I could definitely see smoking this in the morning, and at the same time, it would be perfect at night. You know, whether you're watching the game, whether you're,
Correct.
you know, someone just graduated, had a baby, whatever the case. It's a fine enough cigar to commemorate a special occasion, but it's affordable enough to enjoy any time.
Right.
So.
I think because what you just said, like, I always tell people this, like, you know, there's different levels of smoking. All right. Some people smoke for fun. We smoke for sport. And what I mean by that is we enjoy what we do. You know, you doing your reviews. Me, I work in a business. You know, but we all get together. We get together, one, because we're friends, but we all get together because of the leaf.
Yes.
You know, and that's what makes it great. You know, so yeah, it can be commemorative. You know, like what's cool about the H. Upmann is it has come with authenticity. There's only 14,750 boxes made. You know, you get a really cool coin of the 175th. You know, if you decide to buy a box. You know, but it is an any day type of cigar. But I mean, like, but if a guy, to me, if a gentleman, if you're smoking these, like in the morning, and then you're going to go from that to switch in the morning, I think it might be for a little bit more seasoned smoker. You know what I mean? That's all I was, you know, kind of comparing it to. But yeah, any cigars, any type of day cigar, as long as you can handle it. You know, that's the main thing. Me, I mean, I can smoke rocket ships, but that's why I tend to go down at the end of the day, because I like, at the end of the day, I like, you know, just to relax, you know.
See, and it's funny you say that, because everyone always says, oh, you have to eat before you smoke that cigar, you know, when they refer to the stronger cigars, the fuller cigars, and I'm the opposite. I can smoke anything on an empty stomach, but once I eat, I have to take a little bit of time and digest before I can jump back into something really rich.
But that's because you've trained yourself. Yeah, no, I'm serious. You know,
true.
And people, it's just like anything else in life. You know, like some people like Scotch, some people like bourbons. You know me, I go back and forth. You know, I know, you know, there's a friend of ours, you know, that's here, great wine guy. You know, a couple of great wine guys. But you know, I like wine. I'm not much of a wine drinker, more of, you know, a spirits drinker. But it depends what, you know, I mean, what you want at the particular time. Sometimes it might just be water. You know. I mean, I'm not really, you know, I think like beer and things like that sometimes can be carbonated to change the taste of cigars. You know, I mean, some people like a dark stout, you know, you want a strong cigar, you know. But I think this, you know, when you smoke it, yeah, I think the majority of the people that smoke a couple times a week can probably smoke this on an empty stomach, you know. But yeah, I mean, you train yourself to smoke, because there's different levels of the strength of the nicotine, how aged the tobacco is, you know, different countries of origin, you know, like, you know, this Nicaragua has, you know, 3 or 4 growing regions that are, you know, you have Jalapa Valley, which is nice, flavorful, you know, Esteli, tobacco is usually a little bit stronger, Condega might be a little bit sweeter, and then you go down to, I forget the island that Placencia grows on, but they grow the Ometempe.
Oh, yes.
In the volcanic area. But Nicaragua, in a lot of Central America, is all volcanic areas at one time. You know, like especially like if you go to the valley of San Andreas, which we don't have any San Andreas rappers right here now, but San Andreas, that whole valley is like a couple thousand volcanoes. You know, so that whole area, you know, is grown. And when you grow different wrappers in different parts of the world, you know, like Indonesia, Connecticut River Valley, you know, they're growing Connecticut and Nicaragua now, they're growing Connecticut and Honduras, Ecuador shade, which is very big now, because a little bit cheaper than growing in Connecticut, of course, because you're paying the labor of Ecuador versus the United States. You know, things change, and it has different complexity and different tastes by the different soils from around the world. That's what makes it cool. But this is definitely a cigar, you know, that I would recommend to anybody. And I smoke everything, just like you do. I mean, we smoke a little bit of everything. And that's one thing about coming here to Belvedere when I'm not working. You know, he has a great selection. I can smoke other product, my product, you know, everybody's stuff, you know. So it's really cool.
And I think that's also a very important part of being an aficionado, or at least if you want to call yourself an aficionado, is that you're open to trying all the different types, you know, medio tiempo, and you just mentioned another type of tobacco I haven't heard of before.
What's that? Alaba? Cadega? Tomatempe? Esteli?
No.
Cameroon?
I know all those.
Ecuadorian? Connecticut?
It was one of them. It was, but another special cigar. Oh, the one that was affected by the mold.
Oh, the mold. Okay, it's called Pilatico. So
right.
Pilatico. Yeah, it sounds like you're saying political, but it's when you look at it, because we have a few cigars that we have Pilatico in. We did a Monte Cristo Pilatico. We did a Chapman Pilatico. We didn't do a Romeo. But yeah, it's a small leaf, and it's only one guy grows it, and he is one of our guys, you know. So his company, Mendez, which is in the Mocha region or the Santiago region, that region up, you know, in the central northwest part of the island. He's one of the largest growers in that area. So our company, which is Tabacalera de Garcia, we've been doing business with them since like 71, 72, you know. So when our factory, you know, we used to do some stuff with them. So they supply a lot of our Dominican tobacco, mostly all of our Dominican tobacco.
And speaking of, pardon me, the Pilatico, one of the things that I do love, especially when you're talking about fine cigars like H. Upmann, is the delicacy that goes into all of them. I don't think some people appreciate that something like a mold, a fungus, or bad weather, a storm could affect an entire line of cigars.
Oh,
and
sure.
so understand, when you smoke something fine like the 175th, those are so many elements that have come together perfectly to make such a good premium cigar.
For what? I mean, we have a program, it's called, we used to show a video, I think it's called From Seed to Cigar. I can't remember the exact name of it. But, you know, if you look at all the hands that touch it, the care, the people who grow it from its infancy to hanging it, you know, in the Vegas, taking it down, or no, Vegas are barn, and, you know, working with the tobacco and then packing it, shipping it to the warehouse, then unpacking it, aging it, and then sorting it and stripping it, all the hands that touch it. It's amazing that, you know, I mean, the prices are what they are, but, you know, if you see the production of how it goes, you're like, wow.
I never thought of it that way before.
Yeah, you know, cigars can range from X, Y, Z, you know, as far as prices. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of it is aging in tobacco. Some of it is the name brands of the tobacco, because it's, you know, it's a particular price because of the quality, you know. So, like this cigar, you know, what was, you know, the process that did this, the aging, the sourcing of the select tobaccos, small sort, you know, small amount. So they only made a certain number of cigars.
And we are blessed to be enjoying them.
Yeah, I mean, you know, 175th is like, you know, like, I mean, you know, I work with Alta de USA, a great company, but I enjoy these, but I kind of like try to do farm. I mean, I don't have unlimited access to them, I got to pay for them, you know, but I try to smoke them few and far between because it's something that I like, you know. Yes. And me, you know, I mean, I can smoke it on one, but at the same time, I try to smoke something I like, you know, a few times a week, you know, because I'm smoking different things to see what competition does or what.
Of course.
just was out there. Like me and you, we've traded stuff, and talked about cigars, and me, you, and your husband, me, you, and whoever's here. We always.
You're always introducing me to new stuff.
My new stuff.
Yes,
No,
your new stuff.
my
Your
new stuff.
new
Yeah.
stuff, yes.
Yeah. And I tell you what's really cool that Belvedere should have in a few weeks is the Monte Cristo 1935. That's something I'm gonna tell you that's really special. Now it's in the same price point roughly as this, but as much as I like this, and this is fantastic, I will tell you the 35 is right here with this.
Really?
And then to give you a little sneak peek, you guys like the Trinidad Espiritu that we did last year. We're doing the Trinidad Espiritu 2, comes out in January as a Brazilian wrapper. And we'll have to do a review on that one.
Oh, I can't wait for that one.
For sure. But as you know, as like you said, as we're smoking a cigar though, it starts, it picked up in the beginning and it hasn't lost anything. It's picking up, it's building flavor, it's building a unique taste and notes. And I think, comparing it with the espresso was a fantastic idea on your part.
Thank you.
Me, I would have been like, hey, let's get some bourbon, But not, I think it's something that that was a great choice, for you to make. So,
Well, two
congrats.
things. Thank you. First of all, everyone pairs with bourbon, right? How many reviews have you seen paired with bourbon? Nothing against bourbon. It's just,
Hey.
yeah. I like a good bourbon, but I like espresso because I feel like it cleans my palate. And
Okay.
so every time I sip the espresso, I feel like I'm going back to the cigar with a fresh palate. And so I can really taste the transformation, the building of the flavors as it goes through the cigar.
That's a good point.
And it's just, the 175th is such a fine cigar. I didn't want to take anything away from it today, when we enjoyed it.
Yeah, for sure. One thing about this is like, as we, taste the espresso and taste this, like you said, the flavor, it was there when you first light it up. And, you first light it, it's like, wow,
Right away.
Right
away.
And then it keeps enhancing, with, even smoking the cigar just plain, it will enhance, but definitely with the espresso, it definitely gives it a, more robust explosion in your mouth, because it does give you a cleanse of your palate, and it's not like we're eating, wafers to clean our palates or anything, or some type of thing. We're just going straight in with the espresso and the cigar, which is like a poof,
And I know everyone's wondering, well, what does it taste like? How does it taste? And I know you don't like to go into the notes, the flavor notes, but I always ask. I
Yeah.
know that. I always ask. But one thing I can say, or do you want to go ahead?
No, I was just going to say that the wrapper on this cigar and the way that wrapper was created is Nicaraguan flavor explosion. It's not like a super strong rocket ship, like it's going to be like, oh, wow. But the taste is very refined, very rich. It hits a lot of different notes. I don't go into the whole, it tastes like butter pecan and, that. But I would just say, it definitely, most cigars, when you're comparing it, what you do, you're going to have a little of that off sense of a cocoa flavor. I don't, some people say, oh, you have black pepper or this or that. It's not real peppery. I think because of the wrapper and the blend smooths itself out. And
Yes.
the maturation of the cigar kind of, I think, mellows it a little bit. Where maybe you could definitely have twisted it that way and made it more, like, oof, wow, if you smoke this versus, to me, like the Ramon Alones, I think the Ramon Alones is a little bit more heavier, all right? Or some other cigars that, of course, AJ has done. But I think the spin that he put on this, along with like when we did the Cuatro Nicaraguan, which was the #1 cigar last year, they both have a different taste, and they're not in the same realm, but they each have their own, area of expertise.
I do taste a little bit of cocoa. I do not taste an overly spicy, And people say spicy, that could be a lot of different things.
Spice
You
means a
know,
lot of different things, for
Yes,
sure.
everyone says, oh, it's spicy or it's not spicy. Well, which kind of spice? And I don't taste black pepper. Do you taste black pepper?
Not at all.
No. It's very smooth. I taste a little bit of cocoa. It's,
And let me say this. I'm a hot guy. And what I mean by that is I eat hot food. I eat a lot of, I love Thai food. I love Jamaican food. I mean, you guys, you tasted my, didn't I? Yeah, when we brought the food here. I'm a spice guy. And this to me, like you have different spices from around the world. Like, I mean, you can get some cigars that have like, when you get into them, they're really heavy off the bat. One thing about this is, like I said, it's through and through. It's building, but it's not going to hurt you. I mean, it's not going to be like, and you can compare it, you can, eat it with steak, fish, have it with, what we're doing now. If we were drinking tea, it would even pair with tea, So, I mean, because I've had this with, when I get something and I smoke it and drink it with a lot of different things on purpose, especially with something that I like, and I just happened to have some of these at my house, at the beginning of COVID. So, I was outside, smoking these with different things, like just messing around, I hadn't pouring lime juice in my tea or anything like that, but it just paired well with everything, and I think that's what made it, but everybody's taste buds are extremely different, and that's what, people realize, like people say, well, what do you like? When you want to smoke? Send me some cigars, or taste this, or can you recommend that? Sure, I can recommend anything to you, but I always tell people, I said, when I ask somebody, not what do you smoke, but do you like red meat? Do you eat chicken? Do you eat fish? Do you like wine? Do you drink this? Do you drink that? Because you try to get an idea of comparison, because you can only compare somebody to who you are as a human being, whether it's taste, smell, things like that. We're all different, 7 billion of us all, now, so I think that's what makes cigars unique. The different blends, taste, different countries, we're all unique as a person, and every cigar is unique. But the thing what makes a cigar great is the consistency of the cigar as you're smoking it, and then when you go get a box, and it's the same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even though we're different people, we're kind of getting the same wheelhouse. But I think me and you smoke the same stuff. So I mean that's the uniqueness of the cigar industry, but also as human beings.
I think you are right about one thing in that this would pair probably with anything. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's why this is such a beloved stick. Because no matter what your palate, no matter what you're pairing it with, you can't go wrong with the 175th.
Right.
For sure, definitely.
For sure. I think that it's really, really good. I mean, a friend of mine said to me, I was just happened to be smoking something last night, and he said, Tim, he lit the cigar, and he was like, well, we happen to be smoking in 1935, and he was like, man, this is good off the bat, and he's had this, and he goes, but it's different from the 175th, and I said, yeah, it is, and we smoked the 175th, this was over a year ago, but that was a really good cigar, I remember it, but that's one thing I think, when you go out and you adventure to places like Belvedere or your local shop or or where you buy online or whatever, that you have to try different things. Like, all right, aficionado, that's a term. To me, it's like looking for the holy grail, because it's like you're on the ultimate quest to find the next great cigar. That's what drives me.
Yes.
I mean, I've been
It's the
smoking
hunt.
for a while, and it's the hunt. Like you said, it's the hunt.
It's the hunt.
It is the hunt.
And this is a winner. This is definitely, if we were in the wild and cigars were big game, I would take this one down and bring it back.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, if I had to pack something up to go away for a while, I would definitely want a box of these, maybe a couple boxes of these to throw in my backpack, to go on a hunt or something. These are definitely, a world-class cigar in its own right, So for sure.
Absolutely.
But I think as we roll on, your show. I looked at some of your shows. You're very in depth in the way you explain, and I mean, you're very knowledgeable about what you do and passionate about what you do, and I like that. I mean, you know, you read something and you put a spin, you put your own little spin on things. I mean, a lot of people do reviews and do different things, you know, and they're this way, that way, you know, this or that. But I like the way the caveat, I won't say caveat, but the way you do things. Yeah, caveat. The caveat and the way you explain things is really cool. You know, like, because you have your own, like a diva. You know, you have your own little spiel. You know, I like.
Thank you,
it's cool.
Tim. I am truly honored to be sharing this with you today.
I'm very honored to be here with you today too.
Thank you.
Just don't tell your husband. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it's cool.
No, and I think it's fabulous too that Belvedere has all of these
Yes.
choices. And again, that's exactly what I was saying before, is that Belvedere has so many to choose from at any time. And since today we're talking about H. Upmann, specifically the 175th anniversary, but Belvedere has so many to choose from.
Yeah, they have the Espanol, the Cameroon, the Banker, which is one of my favorites, La Philly Lalinka, which is a limited edition AJ. And they have, you know, 6 or 7 different more versions of the H. Upmann. You know, and the price points go from $750 up to $20. You know, so I would definitely say come in and grab a handful and try. Matter of fact, we just did a while back. We sponsored an H. Upmann poker tournament here, and it went off very well. You know, it was pretty cool. It was really cool.
Excellent. Thank you, Tim.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me today.